Hey, what's up, YouTube? Books Nelson here with another video. Today we'll be going into the news of what is coming tomorrow in my team. So we predicted what would be happening with these GOAT series cards, and here we are. Let's get right into the content. So tomorrow's drop, obviously headlining here, Victor Wembanyama. So you get a Wemby, you get a Wemby, everybody gets a Wembanyama, right? He's going to be able to play point guard. I don't know how good that point guard is going to be. This isn't past years of 2K. I think he might be solid because all Wemby cards in the game are pretty good for where they are. Even like the Ruby series card for a series card is a generally better series card than most of them. Although there are some hidden gems out there like Drew Holiday and OG Anunoby, but I do anticipate all of these to be good cards. I still am a firm believer that at the point guard position, if you don't have an elite 3 hunter at both the 2 and the 3, then you want a 3 hunter at the point guard. I think if you do have a 3 hunter at 2 or the 3, then maybe this Wemby plays. He'll probably move better on defense than Jokic, and that would then, make him great. But this is not previous years where just being 7 feet tall makes you the best point guard in the game. But Wemby is 7'4", which is also notable. You can put a very, very tall team on the floor. Is that tall team a good team? Right? I still am a firm believer that somebody with, a 6'6" with T-Mac or Patty base and all of the elite SIGs and everything on very quick is still probably what's best in the game, especially in my team where you're going to have 99 speed as opposed to my career where you're looking at like 83 to 86 speed on those characters. But moving forward, what else do we have going on? 100 overall Devin Booker. I expect this card to be very, very good, to be honest with you. So there's 2 100 overalls. That's interesting. And only 3 Dark Matters. Oh, and the first Dark Matter, that is buyable. So this is a major step up. So things are ramping up. Again, honestly, this goes to what we were saying, which is basically they had to step things up because they were stalling, right? Everything was mid. The best cards were still from last season. So your Dikembe's, your Glenn Rice, your Dr. J's, all your best cards were still mostly from the last season. The 100 overalls and the GOAT cards were not as powerful as people wanted them to be compared to what they already had. Michael Jordan, Shaq, not super great cards that I think even if you're playing them would be very short-lived. Now we're starting to see some stuff. So let's talk about these cards. So Keegan Murray, I expect. So shout out to a buddy of mine, Amuse, big fan of that Keegan Murray jumper, and it is a good jumper. So if you're a fan of that, it should be pretty good card. JaVale McGee, I expect this card to also be pretty good. If JaVale can shoot, he's probably a very, very serviceable center at that spot. Mo Pete, when Mo Pete came out on the Pyramid of Power, I used that card a lot for his jumper. I was actually kind of first getting into my team during that early Pyramid of Power, so I didn't have like a whole bunch of good cards, and then Mo Pete worked for me. Jalen Green, this card is not super great. Like out of all of the Dark Matters you could have gotten, he's definitely among the weakest. He does have some good animations. I think he's not as bad as some people say that he was. He definitely had some things going for him, but overall not a strong card. Out of all of these cards, I think they're all pretty. They all will probably be pretty mid. The cards that you can actually get. So in terms of the first Dark Matter, this is obviously pretty underwhelming, but it is still a Dark Matter. He will still be okay. He will be yet another, mid-sized point guard. I believe Jalen Green is 6'5". We can actually find that out real quick. Why speculate? We'll get Jalen Green's size as we look at the rest of this stuff. And guys, I actually have an opportunity to cover these cards, do a deep dive on these 100 overalls. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comment section. Actually, he's only 6'4", so I don't know how good that Jalen Green is going to be. He has to be absolutely juiced animation-wise, which I do not expect because he's buyable. Okay, moving on to the Dark Matter cards and the 100 overalls. I mean, honestly, this is a no-brainer lock-in just because there's only one card you don't want, right? And that's Zach LaVine. And is Zach LaVine even terrible? It's not terrible. Zach has some good stuff going for him, and with his jumper on very quick, he might be more usable than he has been. Hopefully he doesn't have too many of his own SIGs because his SIGs are pretty bad for the most part. His dribble style is okay, which I don't expect him to have. I expect him to have probably Kyrie. At the very least, he'll have Michael or Kobe. But yeah, he's the haha card. He's the joke card. But everything else is a major W. Hakeem Olajuwon probably plays almost certainly in your lineup, at least at the backup position, unless you have literally the very best cards in the game. Hakeem Olajuwon plays. Dark Matter Giannis absolutely plays. We'll look at his position in a moment, but I don't care if 3, 4, 5. I'm playing a Giannis card pretty much no matter what. Scottie Pippen obviously plays. He's going to be super duper fantastic as he's in that group. If we were to make it, maybe we'll do this at the end of the year. Talk about the 2K24 like Hall of Fame cards, basically the cards that were good all year, regardless of time of year. So, you take a card like Devin Booker, who was phenomenal all year and maybe tails off a little bit at the end of the year because he just doesn't have the body dimensions. Scottie Pippen, great all year from the Amethyst all the way till now. Doesn't have a bad card in the game. He would go in that group. Devin Booker, again, would also go in that group, although not at the top of that group. Giannis obviously goes in that group from his Ruby card all the way to now. Great cards all throughout the year. And then here we have the Wembys. So first of all, a free Opal Wemby. This is interesting because even if he's only a slight upgrade over his pink diamond, I actually think this Wemby can play for a lot of people. Not if you have the best cards in the game, but if you've been getting, say, just like the Artist Gilmores and the Tyson Chandlers and stuff like that, this Wemby has a chance to play because at the end of the day, he's 7'4" with a pretty solid release. So if he's just a marginal upgrade over his pink diamond, who I don't even think is completely unusable. He's not good. He's not completely unusable. You can lose to someone. What I mean is you can lose to someone playing with the pink diamond if they're better than you are, right? It's not like, oh, you have an old card, I'm just going to run through you. No, it's not even terrible, right? So if this is a marginal upgrade over the pink diamond, that's very exciting. The fact that you can get a Wemby almost no matter what, this is a great collection. This is a great collection. Obviously, the unfortunate thing is everybody's going to have Wemby, right? That like you're going to see Wemby everywhere now, and he's going to almost certainly be good because there's no such thing as a bad Wemby card. But you know what? As great as Wemby is, I think the only card in the game that truly on its own, even like regardless of skill, is just like a flat out advantage was that first Yao Ming that drop, which is no surprise. That's what Yao Ming always is. I think every other card has had like either, okay, if the person's really good with them, then it's a problem, like Glenn Rice, right? Like I've beaten most Glenn Rice users I've played. They just don't have the skill to unlock the card's power, right? Dr. J, I think he's one of the best cards in the game. And when I have Dr. J, he's a problem because I'm a park player and I can exploit that stuff, right? But most people use Dr. J just as a shooter and a slasher and that kind of thing. They don't, unlock that power. Whereas Yao, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Yao passively on his own as a bot is just going to do more than your bot is going to do at his size and all of his features. I do believe this GOAT Wemby will fit into that. This 100 overall Wemby will fit into that. I think the Dark Matter Wemby will be very, very, very good. I don't think he will be, oh no, they have Wemby, I have, insert solid center here, I just lose automatically. I don't think that would be the case. And I think generally the game is not balanced like that. I think if the most important skill in the game is basically if you can generate threes on the perimeter at a high level and your opponent can't, that's the biggest thing, like to create an advantage. However, we all want the best team and we all want the best team that fits our style. I'm actually very curious to see what these Wemby SIGs are going to be as well. Obviously, Wemby's only going to move but so well at his size because, the bigger the card gets, the weirder their movement is. But still, very, very exciting drop. This is obviously the best drop that they've released in a long time. And this is exactly why I have a video on the channel. I'm actually going to pull it up now. For those of you who didn't see it, I have a video on the channel. We go to your videos, and I said it right here. I said, where are we at? Why you should stop pulling these packs, right? Why you should stop pulling these packs. Why did I make this video? For exactly this reason. Because these Shaqs are garbage. All of them, him too, these are not good cards. And when I say they're not good cards, It's in context. If you see the card on the court, is he going to run and dunk and defend and do all that stuff? And can he make an open three? Yes. But the thing is, you go all in, you dump your resources in, and when they release Wilt or Wemby, who we know are, I mean, Wemby's a little bit of a surprise because it's like the GOAT collection, and obviously Wemby has the potential to reach this, but he's clearly not there yet. This is rookie year, so this is kind of a stretch. But if any rookie is going to fit into this, there's probably only 4 rookies, but 5 all time that could fit into that description. I mean, maybe 6. I'd say Wilt as a rookie, Jordan as a rookie, Wemby as a rookie, LeBron as a rookie, and Magic Johnson as a rookie, and Larry Bird as a rookie. I think those rookies have the rookie resume that if you're going to make the stretch, you can put them in the GOAT collection. And Wemby fits that description, and they did it. It definitely comes as a surprise. I do also expect Wilt to come, and it goes with the model that we were saying. They know that a 6'6" or under card is not going to move the needle with these GOATs. Those are troll cards because we don't want a 6'6" power forward, small forward, or certainly not a center, right? Unplayable 6'6" center, virtually unplayable power forward, and a slight disadvantage at the 3, right? So a 6'6" card, you really want them to be your point guard at this time of the year. And you prefer to have a 6'7", 6'8" point guard if you can, if they have the right SIGs, like a Dr. J, right? Or a Glenn Rice. But if you have to deal with a 6'6", you're okay with it at the 2. So 6'6" and below cards were never going to move packs with these collections. And so it's no surprise that they went ahead and cracked it open, because I'm sure, I can't say I'm sure, that's an exaggeration, but I would be surprised if their numbers didn't take a serious dip with the Jordan collection in particular. I think there are enough people that like don't know enough about the game and think, oh, point guard Shaq, that they like jumped out of their chairs and got that point guard Shaq. Larry Bird, not super great. I think he's a good card, but I think there are other cards that are attainable in the game that are definitely better than him. I think if you master Larry Bird, he moves into the upper realm of cards, even with his release, just because he's 6'9" and he moves very, very well and has elite step back and leaners. So you can hit any shot with Larry Bird if you learn the release. The release is just not easy, right? And it's not slow, but it's just not easy. It's not an easy release. It's not the fastest release. And Jordan, after Larry and Shaq, and people started to be like, oh, these aren't that good. I think by the time it got to Jordan, it was like, I do not want this card. I will not open this collection. And that's what we saw in the Decentric video, where he's just like, no, I'm not doing this. And I think once somebody who's as much of a pack puller as Decentric was like, this isn't happening. And if you look to the other YouTubers who open packs, they didn't open nearly as many, right? It's just not as hype. And I'm not judging anybody, because again, I support pretty much all content creators. But even the people who pull packs, because people like pack openings, I don't have an issue with that, right? I just have an issue with how 2K runs the economy of the pack openings, not the pack openings themselves. And the pack openers don't control the economy of 2K. So even the people who open packs that normally make great content, the hype just wasn't as real. You know, the hype wasn't as real because they're not hyped about getting a Jordan card, who is definitely worse than the card that they're using because they're pack pullers. So they have the Artests and the Dr. J's and so on and so forth. So no, Jordan doesn't even play for them. Even the GOAT Jordan doesn't even play for them. Like the upper is still too slow for the Ben Shepherd release to fix it. I don't think that GOAT Jordan plays over Ron Artest, and I'm not even exaggerating. Right? Sit down, GOAT Jordan. You don't play. And since the dark matter Ron Artest is so close to the opal Ron Artest, I say with no, and I have a dark matter Jordan card. So yes, I'm a Ben Shepherd base away from being able to compare the two directly. And I still say I would rather use Galaxy Opal Ron Artest over Michael Jordan. I know that sounds crazy to some people because of the card color, and it says GOAT and he's got little yellow Photoshop all over him, but that doesn't change the fact that that release is not competitive, dude. It is not competitive. So they had to do this. I'm not surprised that they did this. Going forward, so since Hakeem is in this, Giannis actually would have been a pretty good choice for the GOAT collection. And you know what? It doesn't prevent them from putting Giannis in there. Because Giannis is, at worst, a top 3 power forward of all time, I think. So he could probably get into that conversation. But I do also still expect Wilt. I would be very, very surprised if there's no Wilt. And we got a free Bill Russell. I don't know if we'll get Bill Russell. So we're kind of running out of GOAT players to use, which is part of the reason that we're getting Wemby in the first place. But yeah, I mean, with all things considered, where we are in the year, I'm relatively excited about this. Really looking forward to seeing what shakes out with these animations tomorrow. And this looks like the first time in a long time that we're not getting too many troll cards in the collections, which is great. Not too much troll stuff. They're gonna make a lot of money tomorrow. Understand that. They're gonna make a lot of money tomorrow, and they know it. And this might be, again, it might be going too far. This might be the last time they make a lot of money from my team. I think after this, people's cards are going to be so good that most people are going to be generally be like standing pat. Even for myself, like I don't have the very, very best cards in the game, but I have a really pretty good team, right? And being mostly no money spent just with the pro pass. And I look at my main team and I'm kind of like, I don't really want anything that they're doing. Like I don't really want to play this mode because my team's fine and I don't have an opportunity to improve my team, right? You haven't given me a way to improve my team, which just needs a better center. You give me a better center and I'm maybe one more better small forward and I'm totally cool with my team. But I don't have a way to do that because you lock everything behind gambling. So I'll just leave this team here. And so for me, the no money spent has been a lot more fun building a brand new team, especially having it be no money spent because, you know, everything matters and every card I get is a possible improvement to the team. And I think that's probably reflected in a great deal of the user base. But now the reverse is going to happen because everyone who pulls in this collection, and we'll close it out with this idea. If you were to go all in with whatever resources you have, and I say it every time, I'm going to repeat it for here. This is not me judging whether or not it is wrong or right for people to spend money on the game. That is a separate conversation. We're just talking about if you do. We're talking about scenarios. If you were to spend money on this game or resources, say you had 1 million MT, 2 million MT, whatever it is, and you dumped and went all in on this collection, and let's say you got, take the 100 overalls out of it because they're pretty rare, but the idea of you getting Giannis, Hakeem, and Zach is not far-fetched, right? So this reminds me of the, I think it was the Tis the Season when you had Booker and D-Rob. Funny, it's Booker again, right? But you had Booker, D-Rob, and I think Penny were all in the same line. And basically, and maybe Kawhi was in that too. If you just got that group, you had a good team. This is the same thing. If you just get this group and you get a Wemby, Giannis, Hakeem, Zach LaVine, and even I will even throw in at least one of these cards is going to be good enough. Your starting lineup is competitive, right? You get that and like the free Dr. J, you could literally start today, just pull for this collection until you get 3 of these guys and 1 of these guys, and you lock in, you know, these guys, and you do that in the $10 Dr. J, and your team is as competitive as any team in the game, in my opinion. I don't think you need much of anything else. Go ahead and get you that free penny, and you're good to go. This is a full-on reset collection, and I'm not mad about it. So before we go, let's go ahead and look at these positions. All right, Scotty cannot play the point guard, which is important to note. Booker obviously can. He's been able to all year. Small forward Giannis, which is massive W for that card. They could have made him I wouldn't say troll because Giannis is too good of a card to be troll. Even if he was center only, he's still not troll. It's just not ideal. But Giannis can absolutely be an elite SF power forward. And then we also have, wow, they're going crazy outside. I apologize if you guys can hear that. But yeah, these Wembys, very, very exciting. So yeah, this looks really, really good. Excellent. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the full-on breakdowns. For those of you who are still playing the game, this is an exciting day for sure. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.